want to watch Geshima, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Here we are.
You
Okay.
do anything else but just spend time in front of the Zoom?
But it's good.
Yeah,
So
it's
many
good. It's
teachings.
true. But I can't remember who was it. Maybe it's Inbal. Inbal, you know, who is organizing my Zoom things. So she said, well, you know, I'm so busy. I'm doing a lot of things. They're all good, but it's still a lot. So,
Yeah.
you know, even though if it's all good, it's still a lot. Like I'm saying also, like yesterday, we had this interface meeting here, which was very inspiring. Then I had to rush home. Actually, somebody had to drive me back because otherwise it would have been too late. Because the Lama Zopa's monks and nuns, every Saturday we do 24 hours of prayers. Not each one 24 hours, but each one half an hour. It's like a marathon, or like a, you know. So then I had signed in for 8:30, but you know, so I was just in time to come here, to come back and do this. So it was, and today now today's this, and then this evening we do Poa practice, which is about an hour away in the center. Tomorrow morning we do a medicine Buddha puja in French, or practice for this lady who has her big operation at 7 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock is Tara. So for the whole day. So it's like, it's nice, but it's like, yeah. You know, I was thinking of going into retirement, but here it goes. It's like not much a retirement feeling at the moment, but it's fine. It's okay.
We wouldn't let you.
not much space for anything else, but it's okay. Okay, so Israel and his lovely lady is back.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, what's your wife's name? Hi. Israel? Are you...
Wendy.
Wendy. Okay. Hi, Wendy.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm fine. I was just saying, I'm just very, very busy like everybody else. But it's all good things, and it's a lot, but it's fine.
You moved? You moved house as well?
Yeah, I moved. I left the center in Bern, so I am here in a studio in the mountains, in the valley. It's a skiing area. And so I'm kind of waiting for Israel to open, because I was supposed to be in Israel. I am supposed to be in Israel, so I didn't really, you know, I just left the center in Bern, but I didn't really care so much about, okay, what if I can't go? Where am I going to stay? Because we were sure that it would open in August, as they said. But then it didn't open in August. So then I had to look for a place. And Sophie, you know, she's the one with this, her sister is getting this operation tomorrow, this big heart operation. So actually, thanks to her having to get an operation, I can have the studio. So it's like, and then I'll see. But I'm totally in a limbo state at the moment, because I'll be here until they come back, which will not be immediately, because tomorrow is the operation. Then she has to stay in hospital, then the rehabilitation center, and so we'll probably not be before Christmas. But I do hope that Israel opens before that. But then again, you know, now again, I'm in two minds, because I told Sophie, she's the owner of this place. I said, okay, I'll take care of your plants. As you can see, there's plants behind me. I take care of your mail. But if I go to Israel, then I have to find somebody else who will kind of, with the mail and the plants and all this stuff. It's a bit complicated, but it's good. It's good to be, I really have to stay flexible and just go day by day. Whatever is there is there. Whatever is not there is not there, and it's okay. You know, I'm really grateful. It's a wonderful place. It's small, which I like, and I have everything I need, and perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
Mini holiday.
And it's amazing, you know, it's a place where I had to go to a funeral the other day, so I had to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning with the bus at 7 o'clock. In any other town in Switzerland, I mean, this is not really a town. In Switzerland, the buses at 7 o'clock are chock-a-block full. Here with me, we were 3 people in the bus at 7 o'clock in the morning. But because, you see, because it's mountain area, many people have their own car.
Right.
And there's no traffic jams, because there's not many people living here. So then they take their car, they don't take the thing. Then there was the other lady who was also on the bus. She looks at me and she says, "Oh, what culture are you from?" so I said, "Well, culture may be same as you because I'm Swiss, although it's the French-speaking part." And then she said, "No, I mean religion." So I said, "Well, I'm a Buddhist nun." So a Buddhist nun. So she said, like, "Wow, there's not so many of those around here."
I'm sure.
And she was very happy. So it was like, so because it's mountain area, people talk to each other and they're very relaxed. And so it's nice.
Yeah.
And the weather in general is good. Today is a bit gray, but because it's the southern part of Switzerland.
Okay.
It's near Zermatt, where we have this very famous mountain called the Matterhorn.
Right.
The mountain that is a bit like
the
so it's
train.
not there. It's not very far from there. A bit further down towards Geneva. So it's nice. And there's a lot of vineyards. Like there's a lot of wine around here. So they will start with the harvest quite soon.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Okay, so we'll start the sadhana again. So if you do, just again for just a few minutes, we think about our motivation. Of course, afterwards we do this prayer, the Lamrim prayer, which helps us to put the mind in the right direction. But it's always good to make sure why we are doing this and to be really happy, because also to know, His Holiness Dalai Lama, since the beginning of this pandemic, he's asking actually people to do green Tara practice. So we can think we are fulfilling his wish, which is wonderful also. Can make us very happy knowing that we're fulfilling the wish of His Holiness, and to feel not so useless. Very often we feel very useless, that there's nothing we can do. But we do the practice for us so that we're not becoming victims, or we purify the negative imprints to be victims. And why are we doing this? Because we want to totally purify our mind so that we then attain the same state as Tara. And Tara will definitely, like we have the aspiration to become like her, which then we will become like her if we create the right causes. And she will then help us to put away interferences or obstacles that we have on this path. So it's kind of the two things working together. So it's good to create a totally open and happy mind about what we're doing. And again, that's not the right text. Here we go. And so we start with this Lamrim, kind of reminding us of the stages of the past. And again, we try to generate the mind that really wants this, that is quite serious about saying this, so that it becomes, that we habitually kind of behave like this, so that we can live our values that we all have, like values of generosity, compassion, wisdom, patience, good connections, harmonious, like that. We all have these values so that we can live them spontaneously, effortlessly. I take refuge in the Holy Guru, the essence of all Buddhas, the original grantor of all holy teachings and Lord of all supreme beings. Please, O Guru Buddhas, enable me to unify my mind with the Dharma and to succeed in practicing Dharma for receiving the graduated path. May nothing prevent my receiving this path. Please bless me to take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with all my heart, and to practice virtue and abandon non-virtue by realizing that I have received the perfect human rebirth, which is highly meaningful, for many reasons difficult to obtain, but perishable, transient, and fragile, decaying in the shortest second because of its changeable nature. Thus my death is definite, but its actual time is most indefinite. Karma is most profound. Even in 1 hour, I create more negative karma, bringing rebirth into lower suffering realms than positive. Even the smallest negative action has so many suffering results, and the ability of karma created to bring its results is never lost, even after eons that the ordinary mind can imagine. And the sufferings of the 3 lower realms are very unimaginably unbearable. Then, by practicing in this way, I might be reborn in the upper realms, but I will still have to experience unlimited samsaric suffering because of uncontrolled delusion and karma. Please bestow on me the ability to realize fully the evolution of samsara from uncontrolled rebirth to death and rebirth, so that I shall follow night and day the 3-fold training of the path, supreme conduct, supreme concentration, and supreme wisdom, the main method to release me from samsara. But as each sentient being has been my mother, and as all are in extreme suffering, please grant me blessings to bring success to all by renouncing the perfect self-happiness of nirvana and practicing the bodhisattva's deeds with bodhicitta, exchanging myself with others on the basis of the equanimity meditation. Thus I shall have no sorrow in experiencing the samsaric sufferings of all other sentient beings for no matter how long, having trained my mind in the general path. So before we kind of go into this Tantra section here, it's really good to feel this urge wanting to help sentient beings. So it's perfectly legal and perfectly okay if you take people that you know, people that you would like to have more skills to be able to help them, at least, you know, because also even Tara is not omnipotent, she cannot perform miracles, but to be with them, to accompany them in a beneficial way, to have these skills, to have the confidence that we can do that, not so we ourselves, we're not becoming another burden for the ones who are already suffering by being too much affected by what's going on with them, because very often it's like this. Because of these mirror neurons, that we feel the suffering of the other, and then we make it very personal, sometimes too personal. And we can't bear the suffering of the other anymore, and we also feel bad. So that's not really the point of compassion. So we have this urge, you know, of finishing this path, so that when we are with somebody who needs us, there's absolutely no self-concern. When it's like this, then there's no burning out, there's no fear, there's no anxiety, there's no confusion, and we just do whatever we can. So this is a mind state that we can kind of cultivate, develop. And by thinking, that's the mind state of a Buddha. And then in order to become a Buddha, then we think, that is why I'm doing these tantric practices, dissolving my 5 contaminated aggregates into these 80 conceptions into emptiness, and then out of that emptiness, creating another picture that is pure, and a picture or an existence that comes out of wisdom, knowing about emptiness and compassion. So that would be the right attitude. So please grant me blessings to be able to follow the quick Vajrayana teachings by feeling sentient beings suffering very unimaginably unbearable for even the shortest second as my own, and to attain the enlightened state of Aryatara immediately at this very moment, by keeping my ordinations and the order of the Guru with greater and better care than anything else in my life, for the sole purpose of enlightening all sentient beings, meaning liberating them from suffering and the causes of suffering. So then again, most of you have been present this morning. So I think, again, I put on the picture of Aryatara so that you make the effort of kind of, you do the visualization without me going blah, 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 so that it's your mind kind of creating it, so that you don't get too distracted. And And then it creates really deep imprints. So you just try, you know, as best as you can. Make it a little bit bigger. There we go. As best as you can to visualize Arya Tara, three-dimensional in the form of light with all the qualities. I'll give you about 5 minutes to do that. So you go to all the features. And, you know, when we talk about vipassana and shamatha, like mental quietude and special insight. So knowing that Tara is there, knowing that she's not existing from her own side, knowing how she looks, this goes into special views or special insights, vipassana. Then what you can do is like trying to keep her, maybe not this whole picture, it's too difficult. You can only concentrate on a feature. So at the same time, we're actually practicing compassion and method when we do that. And so I'll just leave you to it. Just try to do it as best as you can. It has very, very, how to say, beneficial results when we really try hard or we apply effort to create the image of an enlightened being. So what you can do, simple, you just open your eyes, you look at the picture, you close your eyes. You see that an imprint is still remaining. Then it fades away, then you open your eyes again. Then you close them and so on, until the mind is so familiar with the picture, you don't need any descriptions and you don't need something to look at. That it arises spontaneously the same way your mind is very familiar with the image of your children or your, you know, dog, cat, parents, friends. So you don't need to go this. It arises just spontaneously. And at the time of death, you know, if the mind then spontaneously goes into visualizing the Buddha, knowing that this is the Guru, then we don't have to worry about the rebirth in the lower state. So all this is just methods. They're not means by themselves, but they are kind of parts of a path that will lead us to be liberated from our unhelpful emotions. And if you get distracted, just notice it without being frustrated, without being discouraged. Just bring the mind back to the visualization. It's a training. It's training the mind in concentration and doing one thing at a time. Don't be too hard with yourself, but do apply some effort. And then, because it's not just some kind of strange Tara who lived in a totally other time as we are living now, you think about your living guru in his or her human form, and you watch your reaction. You see, when we visualize Tara, sometimes not much happening in the heart, because she's too far away, it's too exotic, it's too strange, it's too kind of not much connection. Because we don't understand that the guru is Tara, Tara is the guru. So, but to the guru we react immediately, we think about the person. Or if you don't have a guru, you can think about the Dalai Lama, that, you know, he's sitting in Dharamsala very happily, kind of knowing that we're doing green Tara practice. So then you see how the heart spontaneously opens, there's joy, devotion, respect, gratitude. And then you let the image of that living guru, well, living, I mean, you know, the way you knew him, because, for example, my guru, Khyentse Rinpoche, is not in his human form anymore. He has left his body, so, but I still remember him. But then I visualize him in his ordinary body as I knew him. Some of you might have met him when he was in Israel. I think it was 2006, during the Lebanon war. So then I just visualize him with a very happy heart, and then I let him dissolve into Tara to see that they are one. Okay, then we take refuge. Now, I don't know, I never understand this. Do you see the text or do you still see Tara? Tara, okay. I have to do 2 steps here. Okay. So taking refuge, again, it's the mind that is kind of fed up with being slaves of our unhelpful emotions, and having trust and faith in the Buddha's methods in order to lead us out of what is called samsara. So that we, you know, enough faith, trust that we apply them. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the accumulation of merits of practicing generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the accumulation of merits, by practicing generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye chodan soki chonam la chanchu bardu dani kyapsu chi dagi chinsaki pesanam gi chola penchi sangye jupasho. Immeasurables. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. And again, you know, we engage in this. I want to be able to contribute to that. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will lead them out of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from happiness that is free from suffering, which is high rebirth, liberation, and enlightenment. I will lead them to that state. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from desire for friends and hatred for enemies. And there we see that we have this wish, but we're not quite able to live it, at least me. So then we ask, please, Mother Tara, bless me to be able to do this. And when we're open for blessings, we do receive them. I mean, you know, even though Tara is not a creator God and she's not omnipotent. She still can touch us or reach us on a certain level that we cannot really intellectually not understand. Same way as, you know, some, in a way, very ordinary people can, with their energies, they can heal people. They can heal others. Or somebody can kind of totally make you angry or upset or whatever, just by seeing them. You know, they don't even have to do something. So that's what the blessing means, being influenced by it. So in Tara's case, we're being inspired by her. That's what it means, receiving the blessings. Then the 7-limb practice, reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present every type of offering, actual and imagined. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. Mandala, this ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. Then we give away what hinders us from being able to manifest the pure land, the objects of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyment, everything we cling to, without any sense of loss. This is important. You know, when we talk about renunciation, we have the feeling that we're losing something, but we're losing something that we actually create suffering. So we should be happy that we're losing it. So without any sense of loss, I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the 3 poisons, which are, you know, wrong views, attachment, and anger, aversion. Idam guru rana mandalakam niryatayami. Then again, just make sure you sit comfortably and I will guide you through the purification, which is then, you know, purifying potentials to have future hindrances on this path. Be there outer hindrances, like, you know, difficult situations, difficult people that instead of bringing up love in our mind, they bring up anger and hate and kind of aggression. Or inner hindrances like laziness, losing trust, losing faith, like that. So by purifying, we get rid of all this. So first you think, Tara sends powerful, blissful white light from the Om at her brow chakra, which enters my brow chakra, fills me completely. Or you, or us. You can imagine that all your problems and sufferings and heaviness and grossness of your body are purified by this light, and all the harm you have ever done to any living being with this body and all your infinite past bodies is purified, eradicated, not one atom left. So imprints that come from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, tendencies to repeat these actions, and especially potentials that the thing will happen to us, are getting purified. They leave the body through the lower doors. And the white light represents Vairocana from the 5 Buddha families, purifies our contaminated aggregate of form, like the body, and also purifies our tendency to get angry into the mirror-like wisdom. The negativities leave your body through your lower doors in whatever form seems appropriate to you, never to be seen again. And the body loses its solidity, fills up with this bright white light, and you visualize your body has become a blissful light body, just like Tara's. Nothing grows, indestructible, just like it will be when you attain the deity's body, the Sambhogakaya, the enjoyment body. Then Mother Tara sends red light from the at her throat chakra, which purifies all the problems of your speech. Inappropriate speech, useless speech, the inability to express yourself appropriately, and all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your speech of this life and in infinite past lives is totally purified, eradicated by the blissful red light, and not one atom left. So it enters your throat chakra and then kind of pushes the negativities up in our body. They come out of our open doors, mouth, nose, ears. So it's Amitabha, which purifies the contaminated aggregate of discrimination, purifies tendencies and imprints of lying, harsh speech, slander or divisive speech, and useless speech or gossip, and transforms it into the wisdom of discrimination. Body fills with this red light, and you think now you have this perfect, compassionate, wisdom appropriate speech of Lama Tara, such that whatever sound you utter is necessarily beneficial to any living being who hears it. And all of this is your potential that we are starting to wake up or to nourish. Body is filled with this very bright red light. Then Tara sends powerful beams of dark blue light from the blue hung at her heart chakra, which enters your heart chakra. Imagine that all the unhappiness of your mind, your confusion, arrogance, anger, jealousy, pride, resentment, hurt, anxiety, self-hate, whatever, it's all totally purified, and that all your delusions, including the root ego grasping, which are the cause of your own suffering and the why you harm others, is totally eradicated by the powerful blue light, not one atom left. It enters your heart chakra, middle of your upper body. You can think then it's like the light being turned on in a room, in a dark room, no matter how, if even the room was dark for centuries and centuries and centuries, it doesn't matter. The moment you turn on the light, the darkness doesn't go anywhere physically, it's just not there anymore. So it's Akshobhya Buddha, which transforms the contaminated aggregate of consciousness into the Akshobhya family, and wrong views and ignorance into the wisdom of the Dharma Dhatu, this, sphere of suchness. And it purifies actions of covetousness, angry thoughts or harmful thoughts, and especially the wrong views. The body is filled with this blue light, and you think that you're filled with this blissful, omniscient, compassionate mind of Lama Tara, which is your potential. Then Tara sends powerful laser beams of yellow light from the yellow swa at her navel chakra that penetrate your navel chakra, filling you completely. It purifies totally all your hopelessness, powerlessness, inability to act effectively, all the blocked energy. The yellow light symbolizes Ratnasambhava from the 5 Buddha families that transforms our contaminated aggregate of the feelings or sensations, and purifies or transforms jealousy and envy into the wisdom of equanimity. The body fills with this yellow light, and you imagine that you are filled with power, with the ability to act effortlessly, to do what needs to be done, with wisdom and compassion for the benefit of all living beings. And you visualize that Tara sends powerful beams of green light from the green heart at her secret chakra that penetrate your sexual chakra, filling you completely. Imagine that it totally purifies all your out of control, unhappy attachment energy, all the yearning, the desire, which makes you miserable and unclear, unsatisfied. Not one atom is left. So the green light symbolizes Amoga Siddhi of the 5 Buddha families, transforms our contaminated aggregate of compositional factors, and also transforms envy and jealousy. I think I said that with Ratnasambhava, that was wrong. Ratnasambhava transforms arrogance and miserliness. Amoga Siddhi transforms envy and jealousy into the wisdom, into the all-accomplishing wisdom. So we act spontaneously, uninterruptedly, and effortlessly, really being able to live our values in a very natural way, not making a big fuss out of it. The body is filled with this green light. And we think we're filled with transformed desire energy, complete bliss, satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment, happiness, and pleasure. Not worldly pleasure, but the pleasure that comes from, the good feeling, pleasant feeling that comes from knowing that we're doing exactly the right thing to attain full awakening. Then all the 5 lights come from Tara's 5 chakras, simultaneously penetrating the 5 chakras, this time feeling that even the subtle stains of all delusions are totally eradicated, not one atom left. And slowly, as this is happening, bit by bit, you take on the features of Tara, the expression on her face, the jewels she's wearing, the heavenly silks, the way she's seated, how is her head, how are her feet, how are her hands, arms, and especially it's not just the image, it's also being filled with all the qualities of Mother Tara's mind, becoming Mother Tara. And then, so the next 2 steps are not needed if you are totally convinced that you are Tara, but usually we're not. So the next 2 steps, first one is out of compassion, because she understands she has to, further support us in our confidence of being her. She comes to the crown of her head. The lotus kind of absorbs into her. She melts into green light. The green light through our central channel melts into our heart chakra, where our Buddha nature is residing. And we think Tara's mind, the Guru's mind, my mind, totally the same thing. No need to worry. That is natural. That would be normal. I am Tara, with all her qualities completely developed. Then, because we have perfected also the all-accomplishing wisdom, we want to do something. So, you can visualize all sentient beings around you, but just to be aware, just to have what is reality, that we are alone on this planet, or that we're constantly surrounded by numberless sentient beings, be they humans, animals, beings in the earth, like underneath the earth, beings in the air, beings in the water, be it animals, insects, fish, even, beings that we can't see, like the hungry ghosts, the hell beings, asuras and suras. Try to feel that, as if we would be just a sand corn on the beach. But that's our reality. We think we're so bloody important. Yet we are just a tiny, tiny, tiny particle amongst all these beings. But now we are Tara, and we are leading these beings to that same state. So we don't need to be arrogant. I'm better than them. I am already Tara. They still have to get there. We all have Buddha potential, and we all have to be led by a Tara to attain that state. Then, in order to strengthen our kind of confidence of being a Buddha and having these beneficial energies, you think at your heart is a moon disk, on top of it the green silver thumb, around it the mantra. From there, numberless light rays are going out, hooking back all the enlightened energy that reabsorb into the thumb and the mantra in your heart. Again, why do you have to do this? In order to understand all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We can always reach them. We can always ask for blessing, support, protection. We just forget. And then, that these syllables in your heart chakra, they become very bright. And first your whole body fills with this light. And then, because if you have a light body, the light cannot be contained spontaneously without effort. It just radiates out like the rays of the sun and touches each and every sentient being and immediately turns them into Aryatara. And of course, as always, you can take the beings that are very dear to you so that your heart is there in the practice. You can put them next to you or before you. Send them the light, but then don't forget that we're doing this for all mother sentient beings. Om Tare Tu Re Soam. 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 Om tare tu re som tare tu re som tare so tare tu re som Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Then you visualize all beings around us, these numberless beings that have all been our mothers at one point, or they've all been kind to us at one point in our billions and trillions of past lives. We have a connection with all of them, you know, in all these lifetimes that we've had and that they have had. We have all led them to the fully enlightened state, but now they are sending back light rays that enter again our crown or our heart chakra, reabsorb into the thumb and the letters in the mantra in our heart to inspire us, to bless us, to kind of encourage us, and to nourish our Buddha nature. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture So, Om Tare. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture So. Okay, then we recite the praises to the 21 Taras. And maybe now, because we still have a bit of time, we go verse by verse, and I just tell you the color and like kind of in general what their speciality is or what they're kind of good for. Of course, the first one is Om, homage to the Venerable Arya Tara, and now is her emanation. So the first one is red, homage Tara swift heroic. She's the very quick one, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of Three Worlds, tear-born lotus. So she kind of, you know, red is always this magnetizing, on sometimes it's called controlling, the controlling energy. So with this energy is like, it kind of enchants people. It's not that they feel unhappy to be under the control of us or of this red Tara. So she kind of protects them from their own negative emotions. kind of, you know, I do feel that my guru is controlling me, but I'm not unhappy about this. So in a way like this, so sometimes the word control is not good. Like magnetizing is better, you know, having influence over us, but we are not, we also have people in our life, they have influence over us, but we're not unhappy that they can influence us. Next one is white one. So she's helping us when, oh, maybe I have to put on the camera. She's helping us when we're filled or overcome by sicknesses. Homage, she finds face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest. Like they say, she's resplendent with light rays, resplendent as 1,000 star collections. Like she shines like 1,000 stars all together. Then homage, golden blue, one lotus. So here with the, you know, when you read the translations or the commentaries, so one is not quite sure, is Tara golden blue, or is she sitting on a golden blue on a golden blue lotus? So it's not quite sure, there's different connection, but I would say she's golden, maybe with the blue hue, and she is helping us when we have life obstacles. And she's helping us also to practice the 6 perfections. And the fourth one is yellow. She is on her crown is this. She's called the Ushnisha Vijaya Tara. So she's yellow, and when somebody is having life obstacles, then one would practice this one. So we're not going through the separate mantras here, because you know, you can find them if you want, or I have them in German. I'm not sure if I have it in English. So they would be good for Sabrina. I don't know if you noticed, Sabrina, we have a visitor here. I'm not the only non-Hebrew speaking person. There's also Sabrina, who is from Germany. Yeah, right. So, so she's here thanks to Gachin Rinpoche and thanks to Smadar. So that's why she sometimes participates. She used to participate also in the taking precepts very early morning. Okay, so fifth one, homage filling with 2 Tare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with their feet the 7 worlds, able to draw forth all beings. So it's another very bright red one that is magnetizing. And it says, like, you know, again, it's a cultural thing. The Tibetans, they do believe in spirits and earth spirits and all these kinds of things. They call them Buddhas and Gex and Derns and whatever. There's a whole description of all these other world looks. And so she is like the ones who are malignant, you know. So she is kind of putting them under her control, but they are very happy again to be controlled. And then also, you know, even spirits are in samsara, even spirits have a mind. So that means when they are using their power to create mischief or to create you know, bad things, and they also then they create negative karma. So it's good for them to be under the control. So you will see as we go along, especially the next ones who come, they're quite wrathful. And so, you know, usually we think, oh, Tara, very nice, very peaceful, but like a very good mother, she can also manifest wrath. Not anger in a way, wanting to punish or wanting to destroy. Destroy, yes, but destroy the negative sides or the negative emotions, the kleshas in somebody, using her power to go against negative emotions, not with aggression, although it looks like aggression, but with compassion and wisdom. So the 6th one, this one is dark red. Homage worship by the old Lord, Chakra, Ani, Brahma, Maru. So here it talks about the Hindu gods, yeah, honored by the host of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandwaras, Yakshas. Corpse raisers are zombies. So, you know, this whole world there that they also have, that they're very happy to worship her or to honor her. A bit disrespectful towards the Hindu gods, I have to say. I'm not so happy with this sometimes. But what can I do? I didn't invent this, so that's just the way it is. And also, you know, don't forget, you don't have to be a kind of in accord with whatever is being said here. We have to look a little bit behind and look a little bit, you know, we can think Chakra, Ani, Brahma, Marut, we can think Biden, Bennett, Putin, these people who have power, you know, and that they use them sometimes for not so beneficial things. And then we think that they come under the control of this 6th Tara. Then the 7th is black. And she is again against, you know, she helps to protect us from spells. Somebody puts a bad spell on you, if somebody has influence on you, but in a negative way. So homage with her tre and pe sounds, destroying foes' magic diagrams, so like magic spells. Her feet pressing, left out, right in, blazing in a raging fire blaze. So nobody, even people who have these powers, they don't dare to use them against you when you're protected by this Tara. Then 8, the 8th one is a very wrathful one. She's dark red, homage to the very dreadful, she looks horrible. Destroyer of Mara's champions. So Mara is, the 4 Maras is like, you know, our delusions, our 5 contaminated aggregates, death that ends our practice in this life. And there's only one outer Mara, which is, you know, some kind of negative force, like the devil or demons or whatever you want to call it. So she is so powerful that she can draw out their energy from their hearts. So it's like a light that just goes. And then, you know, when you read the commentaries, you go like, what? But I'm going to tell you anyway. So then, you know, whatever is left of them, she eats them up. So again, you know, like a cannibal. So it's like, if we could eat, you know, and don't forget, enemies are always our own negative emotions. It's no outer enemies are getting destroyed. It's the inner enemy that creates the outer enemy. So when you think, you know, you can give your negative, when we do these practices and we do the concordant mantras, so then we can visualize, you know, you give your kleshas, you give your negative emotions, you give them a form, and you see how this red Tara, which is an aspect of your mind, the wisdom aspect, which is very powerful, pulls out, you know, the force of these things, of these kleshas that have a form, and then, you know, they get gobbled up and then they're really gone. So, you know, for some people, it might feel like, oh, no, thank you very much. I don't want to practice this. Other people find it very inspiring and especially very powerful and very helpful. So it's all, you know, depends. Then after every very wrathful one, after every destroying one comes a peaceful one. So the 9th is white. And she has at her heart, her fingers adorned with Tri Chuljun Mudra, light rays, masses all excited, all directions. Wheels adorn her, so she gives us protection in a peaceful way. So like the colors also symbolize, you know, our activities. We can do activities peacefully, so that's white. We can do them increasing, you know, having a lot of merit. That's the next 2 one that come. So that we get the things we need to have on our path to full awakening, like spiritual, but also material wealth. Because being poor is it's not virtuous, and it just creates a lot of problems when we can't pay the bills. So we can do things in an increasing way. We can do things, the red ones, in a magnetizing or controlling way, or enchanting way, if you want to kind of go like this. And then dark blue or black is doing things in a wrathful form or wrathful way. So the 9th is white, is peaceful. The 10th is orange. So she kind of homage, she's so joyous, radiant. No, sorry, the 10th is red again. Homage, she's so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful, laughing with 2 Taras, subjugating Maras Devas. So she can magnetize everybody with her laughing. So everybody is so enchanted that she meets through her laughter that she can subdue, you know, harmful beings through laughter, not through aggression, not peacefully, not in an increasing way, but through laughter. So I think that's very, very nice. You know, very often also there's a lot of tension in the room. Somebody starts to laugh, but in a very light way, not in a mocking way, and the whole energy just falls apart. Then the 11th, this one is orange. Homage, she able to summon all Earth Guardians assemblies, shaking, frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune. So if you never get anywhere, if you have always no money, no matter how hard you work, is never enough. So this would be the one to practice. The same as the 12th one. They go a bit in the same direction. So the 12th is golden. I'm never sure if it's the 11th who is golden and the 12th orange or the other way around. I keep forgetting these two. I don't know why. So the 12th, homage, crown adorned with crescent, moon, all ornaments more shining, Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. So the 11th one kind of gathers all the richnesses, spiritual material, and the 12th one, she is kind of distributing it to everybody who needs it. 13th is also is red, very wrathful, kind of, there's a fire, a blazing fire around her, and she is to protect, not to aggress through the wrathfulness, but to protect. So if you have to go into very dangerous situation, you can visualize her and recite her mantra. Homage, she made wrist ablaze like Ian ending fire abiding, right stretched, left bent, joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Then the 14th is again a black one. So it's easy to remember, 7th and 14th, those two are black. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter Hung, the 7 levels she does conquer. So all the enemies are kleshas. It says she puts them 7 levels beneath the earth and she puts her foot on it and that's it. They have no chance to come up. So it's very creative, you know, this whole thing. It's a bit like Lord of the Rings, you know. So do you remember the movie? So sometimes when we, you know, when I visualize these derns and gegs and what they're called, bhutas, whatever, then I visualize all these armies of these kind of, you know, stinking and horrible things coming, but they are my own kleshas. And then, you know, Gandalf comes, or what's the other one's name? Aragorn and or Legolas, and all these come in this, you know, in a wrathful form. Like Aragorn is black, so he's also powerful. Gandalf was first grey, then became white, and Legolas very peaceful, you know, the one with the long blonde hair. This prince with the archery. So then, you know, you can kind of do it a little bit like that. So that's the 15th, again, you know, very peaceful one, the white one. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful. She whose field is peace, nirvana. She endowed with Om and Soha, destroyer of the great evil. So she destroys, but in a peaceful way. Then, so again, it's more about protection. Then 16th is power of speech, like, or, you know, wisdom. So if you have to go to an exam, or something like that, then you can practice her. Homage, she with joy surrounded, tearing foes but is asunder. Freeze with Hung and knowledge mantra. Knowledge mantra is on Tare to Tare to Tare Soha. Arrangement of the 10 letters, because that mantra has 10 letters. 17th is saffron. So it's also kind of a little bit half wrathful. Homage, Ture with seed letter of the shape of syllable Hung. By foot stamping shakes the 3 worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. So she again wrathfully protects. Then 18th is white, peaceful. Homage holding in her hand the deer marked moon of Deva lake form with twice spoken Tara and Pe, totally dispelling poison. So when you feel that you have been poisoned, either inner poison, mental poison, or other poison, then she would be the one to be practiced. 19th, homage, she whose gods and their kings and the kinnaras to honor, armored with a joyful splendor. She dispels bad dreams and conflicts. If there's a conflict with your neighbors, you can practice this one. She's white, peaceful also, or if you have, you know, nightmares, then she would be good for that. Then the 20th is good for pandemics, epidemics, pandemics, very strong sicknesses. Homage, she whose 2 eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with Vaishara and Tutara, she dispels severe contagion. And the 21st or 21st, then that one is like all other 20 together. And she's sending out these 4 colors of doing activities, you know, like peaceful, increasing, magnetizing, and wrathfully. Then homage, full of liberating, powered by the set of 3 natures, destroy host of spirits, yakshas, and raise corpses, supreme Ture. These praises with the root mantras and prostrations, thus are 21. So there you go. Oh, no, I need the text. There's a short, very short explanation on these 21 Taras. It's quite nice to know them, but don't think you have to learn them by heart now. I got to know them by doing the practice, and then I didn't have to sit down and kind of learn them by heart. Okay, then we do the dissolution, like at the end of every sadhana. So first, again, sit comfortably, knowing that, oh, what I think is terrible, what I think is really good, actually, from its own side, nothing coming. There's nothing that is inherently good or bad. It's just a protection of my own mind that adds something to it that is not there. We have a tendency to be very extreme, to see it either as totally good or totally bad. But in samsara, everything can be manipulated. Something that appears really bad can have good sides in the long terms. Something that appears really good can be very harmful long term. So when you think, if you're diabetic, sugar, which is wonderful and very delicious, can be very bad. But also pain, suffering, we purify negative karma, so long term, and we generate compassion. Long term, it can be really kind of beneficial. So then, this universe that we see as absolutely real, as existing from its own side, just dissolves into vast empty space, not one atom left. If you want, as preparation for highest yoga tantra, you think that it absorbs into you, because it's not separate from our mind. So all this is psychologically, we can see the sense why we're visualizing like this. Then we dissolve the body, the basis of this I, the thing we know most, identify with most. You imagine that from your feet up towards your heart, and from your crown down towards your heart chakra. It just dissolves. You feel that everything absorbs into your heart chakra. This will happen at the time of death. So we train already now that we're not getting confused when this happens. We won't be intellectually following it, but the subtle mind might get confused. Like when we dream, dreams are always very confused. Like we have absolutely zero control. And I don't know if you already noticed, when I dream and I have problems, very often my dreams are full of problems, nobody helps me. I always have to do this alone. There is never any help, never ever. So this will be like this at the time of death, when we feel totally alone. I dream of other people, but they usually harm me instead of helping me. Sometimes I dream of my gurus and they give me instructions. That's quite nice. But it's a lot of confusion, no control. The mind goes here, there, everywhere, not really knowing what's going on. So by absorbing this body now that we will lose at the time of death into the heart chakra, so we can do this in a very kind of composed and calm and peaceful way. Then you dissolve your thoughts, these elaborate conceptual constructions, all the thoughts of I, which have no basis in reality, which are completely made up as hallucinations. All of it dissolves into empty space. Or like the fish in the water, when they swim, not like big fish, but like these koi fish, they swim in the water, they don't disturb the water. But like clouds in the sky is a good example. So you think all that is left is your Lama Tara consciousness, very subtle, pure, as vast as space. And you think now this is it. I am the Dharmakaya, but I not being separate. When thoughts arise, they are just covering the clear, empty, open, spacious, luminous sky but they're not oneness with the sky. They can come and go, and then from time to time totally disappear. So when you have thoughts, see them as like clouds in the sky, not obscuring, not hindering, not putting any hindrance on the nature of the sky, which is vast, open, spacious, luminous, free, peaceful. And you connect with that nature, unlimited, no obstructions, no suffering, just a very peaceful bliss. Then, because we also have compassion and we want to be of benefit to others, we need to have a body. So if it would be your time of death, you're in the clear light and you're totally aware of it, you would then spontaneously, instead of taking on an ordinary body, because we have left that one behind, you would take on the body of like the Sambhogakaya, body of a deity. But now, because we're still in this body and we enjoy being in this body and being on this earth, and being ordinary, that's perfectly okay, because we continue with the path. You manifest again in your body, but you imagine that your mind is oneness with Mother Tara's mind as long as you can. Take that energy out with you. Now then, when you go and connect with others and you make strong prayers that with this body and speech you will benefit whichever sentient beings you come into contact with, human, animals, whatever. That's the purpose of the body and speech, is to benefit others. And then we do the dedication. So, when you then interact again with others and we forget that we actually are Tara, then we can become aware of it, remember, no guilt, no shame, and just start again. Say, I forgot, but now again, I'm Tara. So the dedications, through the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha, lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the precious body mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble bodhisattva's deeds. And again, we think of all our gurus and we wish them from the bottom of our heart a long, healthy, stable life, and may we be able to fulfill their wishes immediately. And their highest wish is that we attain the same state as they have, meaning liberation and full awakening. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chandresik Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Then we do this beautiful Shantideva dedication prayer. May all beings everywhere plagued by sufferings of body and mind obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms, the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Then the multiply mantras, again, you know, I'm not sure if that really multiplies the merits that we have created by, I don't know, 110,000 millions or something, but it doesn't do any harm to do them. And I do trust, Langzo Rinpoche, that they do have an effect. So that's why I'm doing it. And if they have no effect, again, you know, what's the harm done? But if they do have, if they give results, it would be stupid not to do them because it's so simple and it's so short. Chom den de de shinche paja chompa yanda paso pe sangue nampa nanse kiga pola cha selo chanchu sempa sempa chempo kuntu sampola cha selo dayata penchagriva vabodani soa om duru duru jayamuke soa ta penchagriva vabodani soa om duru duru jayamuke soa dayata penchagriva vabodani soa om duru duru jayamuke soa dayata penchagriva vabodani soa om duru duru jayamuke soa dayata penchagriva vabodani soa Duru duru jayamuke soa dayata penchagriva vabodani soa om duru duru jayamuke soa dayata penchagriva vabodani soa om duru duru jayamuke soa chom dende de shinche paja chompa yanda paso pe sangue mengila penduria kiga pola cha selo chom dende de shinche paja chompa ya tapaso pe sangue no vada mulam tanchera chuchu pegya pola cha selo. Due to the power of the blessings of the eminent Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the power of infallible dependent arising, the power of my true special attitude, may all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Okay, so thank you very much. So now if you do have questions, please, you're very welcome to ask them. Wow, we finished exactly on time. You know, when I said this morning, kind of, I can never be on time. And, but I can. I didn't make any effort. It just happened. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Tara's help again. There you go. So do you have questions? No? Okay.
If no one else have a question, then I would, I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
Just in the purification part, okay? In our sadhana, we have 5 lights or 5 places. And I know other sadhanas that have only 3. Mm-hmm. Why is that, if you can?
Why is that? I have no idea. It's the only sadhana which is from Lama Yeshe, which is from the 80s, which has 5. And I think it's really helpful. This is why I'm doing this. Now, why the others only have 3, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I have no idea why, but I know that it's different. So it's also, you know, it's really good because so many things are different in the Tibetan tradition, not just amongst the different schools, but even from the same schools. You know, it's one's like this and the other one like this, because nothing does exist from its own side and nothing is concrete. I think it's another skillful way of kind of just making us be really flexible also, and say, you know, to understand when things are different, it doesn't mean that they are wrong. It just means they're different. Because in samsara, everything is manipulable. And I really like these 5 colors because I think especially today, these 2 lower chakras are very important also. Because like, especially the navel chakra, like we feel so often, we feel powerless, frustrated, angry, because we can't change anything and all this. To get rid of that blocked energy, I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But anyway, if you look at the 5 Buddha families, you know, there's 5 Buddha families, 5 kleshas, 5 poisons, 5 wisdoms, 5 contaminated aggregates, so it fits. It's nothing that's been just invented. It's something that has just been added.
Excellent.
If Lama Yeshe would be alive, we could ask him, but he's not alive anymore. I mean, he is. He's about 30 years old, but it's, you know, Ursel, who he probably wouldn't answer that question anyway. He would probably also say, it's not important for you to know why, just do it. You know, very often actually in tantric practice, because we try to find out why and this and that, but then it's a bit like, if you know the secret, it loses its power. It's a bit like this. You know, we don't need to, because again, then we bring it up into the intellectual level where it doesn't belong. It really belongs to the more subtle kind of energies that we are working with. But thank you for the question. So, anybody else? If you have a question, just open your microphone and just ask. Yeah, Masha, but you need to open your microphone. Yeah.
I opened my microphone. Hi. Thank you. I wanted to ask, how do you practice the different, right? We had like 12 taras with different colors.
21 taras?
We had 21 taras with different colors, right?
Huh?
So how do you practice like the individual ones?
Well, if you have the sadhana, you know, there is the sadhana, but as I said, unfortunately, I only have it in German. And there is a sadhana where you do actually what we did now with the green tara, where you do with the 21 taras, one after the other, taking refuge, dissolving into emptiness, let the tara arise, you know, that specific tara, how she looks and what she's doing, then doing the praise, then making offerings, which here are missing, making offerings, then doing the visualization of what the tara is doing with the specific mantra, and then, you know, the absorbing into emptiness again, and then the dedication.
So these are different from the green tara?
Huh?
The 21 taras, they're different from the green tara?
Well, you see, the 21 taras are different aspects of green tara.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Like the same way as we have different aspects, different qualities. So that's different manifestations.
Okay.
Yeah. So you never have just the 21 taras. You always, this is why the praises to the 21 taras start with Om, I pay homage to the Venerable Tara, which is the green one. And then it's mentioned these 21 manifestations.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And when we see, you know, for example, what the Tibetans, like the connection they have with Tara. So whenever they have projects and it doesn't go forward, or whenever there's danger, or, you know, or if they get married or something like this, they sponsor a Tara puja, or they start reciting the Tara mantra or the 21 taras, especially the 21 taras. In the monasteries, you know, it's not just a practice for women who don't know philosophy or things like that. In the monasteries, very often before the studies, they recite the 21 taras. Yeah, so the Tibetans make a lot of use of Tara. They use it a lot because she's also good for worldly projects, you know, not just for kind of spiritual stuff. Like marriage, you know. So then you hope you'll have a happy marriage when you sponsor 4 mandala offerings to Chittamani Tara for the marriage, for the wedding, but then, you know, you still have to work at it yourself. As we said, Tara cannot perform miracles. Okay. Israel?
So just to say the goodbye things?
No, maybe Israel wanted to ask something.
Israel, okay.
Before we say hello, goodbye, I don't have question because it really was something that you have to digest. It's not so easy.
Yeah.
But I would like to show you where I am now. So maybe we'll...
I see a window and I see the blue sky. Yeah, that's the nature of our mind, the sky. And oh, you're at the beach somewhere.
Yeah, we're in Greece now.
Okay, so where is your beach?
No, we are in Greece. In the north.
Oh, you're in Greece. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy. Definitely. I really don't understand why Israeli people go to Greece. This is like Swiss people going to ski in Austria.
Different completely.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. So it's, you know, the 21 Taras, different energies. So even though they can all do the same things, but they're, you know, they're manifesting different energies. As you say, if you start doing tantric practices, it's heavy to digest because we want to understand and we don't understand. So it's not very accessible to a lot of people, because Tantra is something you just do it and then you experience it. And for us who want to know before we do something, it's very difficult. What do you think, Smadar? Because Smadar is laughing. There are some people who have a natural attraction to Tantra and they don't question it. They just do it. They feel the effect. Absolutely no problem. Nothing heavy to digest. I was kind of not one of them. I had to really cut through a lot of aversion and through a lot of, luckily I'm a nun, so I had to go to the pujas and I had to do these things until finally I gave up wanting to understand and I gave up having aversion. So I was just kind of going like, just do it. You know, what are you kind of fighting about? And then I started feeling the effect. There's some other people, like I think Smadar, who has a very natural...
No, you are my first teacher 17 years ago, and the first thing you told me in Tara retreat was, don't pay attention, just practice, it doesn't matter, just practice. So it's you who helped me doing that. Then I met my guru, of course, but I wasn't like, yeah, what is that? You know, no, it's you that opened my mind for that. So
okay, but you did. But you did it.
Yeah, but okay, but you manifest in front of me and help my mind, you know, releasing that, you know, oh, what is that? Why I'm doing it? What is strange things? Whatever. You make common sense to me by, you know, just do it, and then things will manifest naturally. You don't need to know anything; just come by practicing. So I just want to say thank you for existing. I love you so much, really. So,
my teachers also.
Anila, sorry, I have to leave. But thank you so much for this whole day, and I hope to see you tomorrow again.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope we're still alive tomorrow so that we can continue in this body. Or if not, then may we realize the clear nature mind when it arises spontaneously at the time of death, and then go wherever. So we're going to practice Poa this evening in French, like not on Zoom, but in a group. So this is where it's crazy, you know, when you tell that to other people, we are rehearsing how to die, how to shoot the consciousness out into Amitabha's heart. It's a wonderful practice also, but when you try to explain that to ordinary beings, what you're doing, they are like, what? You know, but it's such a wonder. You feel so light afterwards, you know. So if you ever come across a Lama who's teaching you Poa, this transferring consciousness, such a wonderful practice. And it's the Kargya one is quite complicated. For once, the Gelug one is quite easy to do, very simple, yeah. And when we meet in that group, we call it Poa Pizza. So we do the Poa practice and then we order pizza and then we eat the pizza. It's a very jolly group, you know, it's such a joyful group. We just joke and laugh like all the time. We're only 4 people. But it's really, really nice. So you see, you don't need to be many, but it's good to have people who really committed to the practice and who love to do the practice on top of it, who are grateful that other people around us. So I'm very much looking forward to this evening, not just because of the pizza, but also because of the practice.
I have to go. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have to go also because I have to prepare so that I can start. So maybe see you tomorrow. If not, thank you very much for participating. Take care and enjoy.
Bye.
Tantra is all about enjoying. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, Anila.
Bye-bye.
If you want to stay for a few more minutes, I'll just say a formal ביי. Thank you. הגענו לסוף של היום הראשון בריטריט של טארה הירוקה בהנחיית אני לובסנג. אנחנו שוב אומרים לה תודה, וגם לעמותת ידידי הדרמה שמארחת אותנו, ותודה לכל אחת מכן שהשתתפה, לכל אחד מכם שהשתתף. אני מזכירה שאפשר לצפות בהקלטה של הריטריט בערוץ היוטיוב של עמותת ידידי הדרמה, ושנשמח מאוד להיפגש שוב מחר ב9 בבוקר. מי שרוצה להעביר לנו תרומות כדי שנוכל להודות למורה להמשיך בפעילויות דומות, יש שוב פעם בצ'אט וביוטיוב את הפרטים להעברה בנקאית או לפייפל. שוב תודה רבה ולהתראות מחר. נגיד את זה גם באנגלית. Hello, we reached the end of our first day in the Tara retreat, hosted by the Dharma Friends of Israel and guided by Ani Lobsang. We would like to thank you for being with us and remind you that you can always see the recording on YouTube on our channel. We will be glad to see you again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Israel time. If you would like to practice generosity so that we can thank the teacher and continue our activities, you can do so using bank transfer or PayPal. I attach again all the details in the chat box, or you can contact us directly on our website. Again, thank you very much, Anila, for the teachings. Thank the Dharma Friends of Israel for hosting us, and we thank each and every one of you for being with us. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m., and have a good night. Laila Tov. Bye-bye.